I've had it for 4 years, since 2013.
I've been having Safaricom line since 2002.
I'm very loyal to Safaricom. I've been using it more than 10 years, and I'll stick to it.
You know, it's 16 years, but people don't forget where it all began. It began with some old phones. I remember having an old phone in Mombasa you would dial, fax machines. A phone was owned by hardly anybody in those days.
So when Michael started this company 16 years ago, he knew that it was more important to uplift Kenyans than it was to make a profit. He knew that in order for us to succeed, we have to be operating in a society which was just, which was equal, and which was prosperous.
There was pomp, color, and all this excitement at the carnival. There was all the energy, passion, and all intention to do something big for this market. I remember that time chatting with people like Hugh Herschel, who was the head of sales and marketing, and he was saying things like, we want this company to be in the mind of the customer to the extent when they see Safaricom, they're just seeing the red dot. You see, by that time, we're associating so much with Vodafone.
I think Safaricom came with a very nice strategy.
Yeah, and the many services they offer that cater for all levels of people.
Kenyans take on technology. Their curiosity to try it out is quite high, and they want to try out the next thing very easily, regardless of where they are, you know, in the classes of society. Anybody wants to try. You see, we started from 500 and we went to 250. And then we did 100 shillings. At that time, we really wanted to reach those people who want to communicate, but they may not afford 250 at that time. But we soon realized even Easy 100 is not really quite part of a wallet for some of our customers. And that's how we brought it down and went to Bambas, you know, the Bamba 50, Bamba 20, 10 and 5.
I remember that time when we used to buy line for 2,500, actually 3,000, came down to 2,500. By that time, to 002, we used to buy cards for 500. That was the cheapest, 250. So, but now we can buy a credit card for less than 20 bob. So it's a big growth, which is targeted to the smaller income earners, which is a good growth.
Safaricom understood that it's about everybody, that you have to deliver services to everybody. They did not want to be a niche player.
There are those customers we felt still walk to the telephone booth, you know, the red famous telephone booth, to make a call. And we were thinking we should also introduce something but mobile in nature. And we introduced Simu ya Jamii.
I remember about Simu ya Jamii. Back then, it helped us because most of us didn't own phones. So it really helped us.
So we are finding them very convenient for use.
Nakumbuka those time we used to go with the wire, tunashikanisha hapo ndani. So but Simu ya Jamii ilikuja, it changed all that scenario. Yeah, it brought another exposure.
So all these decisions were informed by a sense that they wanted to go for the biggest market possible. They've never excluded anybody. You see these adverts of theirs which are fabulous, and it has all faces of Kenya. And I think they had that awareness, situational awareness from the very beginning. And it meant that they achieved, you know, what they've achieved over these short years.
The 500,000 mark is a number we didn't think we'll get in 5 years. We thought this is a number perhaps we'll get in 10 years. How did we manage to do this? I think just everybody went in with all their hearts, their hands, their legs. You did not say, it is not for me to do.
Their marketing and public relations for Safaricom have made me, as a client, more aware of what products they offer. Whenever they have a new bundle package or Blaze that's out there, makes me streetwise on like how I should spend my money, especially in regards to the services they offer, and also so that I can organize my expenses better.
M-PESA has become like our normal bank nowadays. You are easy to move money from your bank to your phone, from your phone to your bank, from your phone to payments of your bills.
I remember those days when you want to send your parents some coins, you had to find someone and send nakabasha. But when M-PESA came, things changed completely. I don't have to go to stage now. I only need to lift my phone and I'm inapiga tap, pesa inaingia mkononi.
I don't have to walk long distances going to send money. I don't have to queue. So that's why I'm saying it's reliable, it's convenient and efficient.
It's allowed us as a country to leapfrog many other countries. As I travel the world, whether it's the United States or it's in Europe, people are constantly asking, how could we bring something like M-PESA to their country? As I said, these are so-called developed worlds. So the word leapfrogging is often used. And M-PESA now is being used not just to move money from one place to the next, but it's finding solutions for commerce because it's safer and more efficient than handling cash. It's helping people to save where otherwise they wouldn't be able to save. It's helping people to borrow with dignity. We find that every day there are new opportunities for M-PESA to make a difference to people's lives.
If we didn't have the phone in our pocket, this economy would be totally different. It would be slower. You can imagine, like in the old days, you'd send some money via a matatu driver to your home village. Today, you're sending it in a blink of an eye.
Everybody at that time wanted Safaricom, so everyone wanted to be associated with Safaricom.
And everybody was waiting for these shares because people knew the future of Safaricom and the vision was so vivid in the eyes of Kenyans that everybody wanted a share of this cake.
Safaricom was like the cherry on the cake. It was the biggest IPO ever done in Kenya. It was incredibly successful.
And I would always advise anyone at any given time, buy shares or invest at Safaricom.
A lot of Kenyans got ownership in there, and that is testament to the success of that business.
Any business has to operate beyond profit. We realized that without communications, mothers couldn't call for assistance when they needed it. And how can you use telecommunications and ICT to make a difference to women who run a risk of death every time they get pregnant? And so we've been putting quite a lot of effort in this space on how we can use a base station to save a woman in childbirth.
Safaricom ended up being in a really sexy space, right? This is the information economy, the arrival of the internet. These are big things.
I like 4G because it's fast. Then I can watch the movies or I can stream them. Even if it's news, I want clear and yeah, it's much better.
Because I'm a student, like Google has just to be your best friend. So like I use Google every single time to research on things, to do with studies.
We all want it fast now. We're not hanging around. You know, this is the big contrast with somewhere like Ethiopia. It takes you 30 minutes to do an email. You make people take 30 minutes to do an email. Here you'll have a revolution on the streets. Everyone will say, what the heck's going on?
Lewa Marathon is one of the unique marathons of the world. This is a marathon that is held in a conservancy. It is held within an animal park. Every year, we've been able to raise sizable amounts of money in order to support the communities that are living within Lewa and outside Lewa. And therefore, the general livelihood of the people around the Lewa Conservancy, within and around the Lewa Conservancy, has greatly improved.
One out of 3, isn't it? Yes. Out of 3.
Safaricom has been supporting sports in this country. You will recall that athletes have been the greatest ambassadors of this nation. And therefore, we find it as our duty, like any caring and any responsible organization, to make a contribution towards improving the skills of people who have done so much to bring attention, and the right kind of attention, to our nation. The most known event now is the Safaricom Jazz. Jazz, while we cannot say jazz is a Kenyan culture, but there are Kenyan artists who have been involved in jazz. Also, with the money that we raise, we're able to support initiatives such as Ghetto Classics that gives the opportunity to young kids in disadvantaged areas to be able to learn these musical instruments and to play even before an appreciative audience.
We made a decision that we would launch this, M-PESA Academy. And because we believe that this is an opportunity for us to create the next generation of leaders. This is not just about educating children. This is about creating leaders, giving opportunities to those who life have dealt a few bad cards. But the one good card that life has dealt to these young people is intelligence.
I feel very happy, and I think I'm lucky to have this chance because I badly needed it.
And these are some of the smartest young people in the country who had the least opportunity because they come from the most deprived backgrounds in the country.
To be joining M-PESA Foundation Academy, it's like a dream come true. When I finish my education, I would like to be a computer engineer.
And these will be future leaders of tomorrow. These are not just going to be managers, they will be leaders.
My dream.
We like to imagine the unimaginable. We like to imagine that we can change the world. We don't see ourselves as being a mobile phone company. That's why we pick a simple phrase like transforming lives.
You know, Safaricom is a household name, not entirely because of being a telecom, but on how it impacts on people's lives. And we only hope that it will be aligned to the vision and the mission of this country and be included in the formation of policies of this country, such that it can continue impacting in our life.
And that is why whenever we travel in any other part of the world, Safaricom is perceived to be a brand which punches way above its weight. We are leading the corporate world, across the world, on things like integration of the Sustainable Development Goals. We speak out on issues such as child rights, human rights, the plight of refugees. We don't consider that just because we're a mobile phone company, we're not going to touch on those issues. We absolutely will touch on those issues, and we will drive advocacy across a whole host of areas. And I think outside, we are an admired company simply because we go beyond just the profit motives.